Hey there yogis, how are you? My name is Crystal Gray. Today I'll be guiding you through my favorite poses to do whenever it's that time of the month. I know that sometimes you want to do something to make yourself feel better, but you don't necessarily want to do a big time yoga flow. So today I put together just some of my favorite simple, very calming, restorative, gentle yoga poses to help you feel much, much better by the time you get done. And don't forget to subscribe and push the little bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And if you want this sequence, make sure that you check out the link in the description. You can download the sequence and print it out so that you can do it anytime, even whenever you don't have access to YouTube. All right, yogi, enjoy. I hope you feel amazing. Let me know in the comments when you're done how you feel. Namaste. For today's practice, if you have a yoga bolster, 2 yoga blocks, that would be great. If you don't have those things, you can just use a rolled up yoga mat, you can use pillows, you can use your couch, you can use a chair. So just grab a few things and then meet me on your mat. Even if you don't have props, don't worry, I'll give you options to modify. Let's start in Supta Baddha Konasana, or supine bound angle pose. Now I like to do this pose supported. You don't have to use any props, but if you do want a little bit more of a heart opener, you can use a bolster and even put a pillow under your head if you like. I'm gonna put the blocks under my knees. Now alternatively, you could use pillows under your knees and you could roll up your yoga mat and put that back behind you instead. All right, so place whatever you're gonna lay on, if anything, behind your back. Bring the soles of your feet together to touch, and then place the blocks under the knees. I like to just hold the knees up a little bit so that they're not hanging. So just bring them where bring the blocks and bring the legs to where they naturally kind of fall back. And then bring your hands back behind you, lift your hips and tuck your tailbone, and then lay all the way back. Now again, if you feel like this is too much, feel free to place a pillow under your head. And then roll the shoulders away from the ears, palms facing up. Feel free to readjust as needed. Just using this as our centering pose, a way to really open up the body, the heart, the hips, the inner thighs, the pelvis, but also just to bring some attention to that area, to the womb space. Take a couple deep breaths here in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just letting go of stress, letting go of tension. If it feels better for you to have your hands on your womb space, that's fine as well. Just do what feels good for you here. Let your eyes be gently closed and begin breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. You can visualize breathing into the belly, just bringing some nourishing energy into that area we're targeting to get today, and then bringing the breath all the way up the ribs. And think of an affirmation that would work well for your practice today. Maybe it's, I easily release what's no longer serving me. I let go. I honor my body. Just choose something that fits right for you. On your inhale, say the first part of the affirmation in your mind. On your exhale, the second part. Really letting the outer body soften, letting go of any tension in the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. Moving all the way down the body and just releasing and letting go. Taking this time out of your day to really nourish yourself. Few more breaths here. And then deepen your breath and reach your arms over your head. And there's a couple ways you can come out of this pose. You can move the block that's under your right knee and roll onto your right hand side, or just very slowly use the strength of your arms and push yourself up to seated. You can keep your eyes closed, cross your legs, coming into Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. And breathe here. Really expanding with the breath, bringing in that nourishing energy, that nourishing prana. And letting go of anything you no longer need on your exhale. Okay, now staying in Sukhasana, you can open your eyes, staying in this easy seated pose. Pull the flesh again back away from the sitting bones. Do a big shoulder roll on your inhale, lengthen the spine, and on your exhale, start to tilt forward. Now, if you do have props, you could kind of build up a little what I call a prop bridge. I put 2 blocks here and then put a bolster on top. Then you can bring the forearms here. You could do this on a couch as well. You don't have to have these yoga props or a chair. I like to have the forehead resting on something, whether it's on the fists or on the forearms. Just breathe here, getting into the low back, getting into the hips, again into the pelvic area. Making sure you're not going anywhere where it's hurting the body. You just want to feel a nice, gentle stretch. Focusing on honoring your body today. And deepen your breath. And slowly rise up. Only open your eyes as much as you need to. You can extend your legs out for a moment. Just move them around and then put the other leg in front. Again, pull the flesh back away from the sitting bones. Big shoulder roll, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tilt the pelvis forward, trying to keep the front of the spine nice and long as you soften into the pose. Relax the face, relax the body. Deep, nourishing breaths. Deepen your breath. Slowly come up. Keep your eyes closed. Just notice how you feel after those first couple of poses. Exhale through the mouth, letting go. And then lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open, lift your head, and then you can move your props. Okay, so again, feel free to extend the legs out for a moment, point and flex the feet, just move your legs from side to side. Cross your legs one last time here, and we'll move into something called stir the pot. So pull the flesh again away from the sitting bones, hold on to the knees, okay? And then what we'll do is just come around, so you'll arch the back, kind of like a back bend, come around, hold the knees around the back. Come forward and around. Forward and round. Go the other way. Make sure you're breathing here. Round the back. Arch the back. One more. And then come back up. All right, now extend your legs out into a straddle. Okay, from here again, you can make your little yoga bridge, your little prop bridge, or feel free again to use your prop bridge, or feel free again to use a chair or a couch, like so. Okay, that's totally fine. Whatever you have around your house is fine. If you are interested in getting some props, I do have a link in the description to my favorite ones, the ones that I use. But you can use whichever props you have. All right, big shoulder roll, inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, tilt the pelvis. Now, even if your legs are a little bit cranky here, feel free to put some pillows under your knees. It's not about getting a huge, painful stretch ever. Okay, we just want to feel a gentle sensation. So again, think about keeping the front of the spine nice and long instead of really rounding into it. So whatever you need to do, forehead could be on the fists here or on the forearms. Just find what feels good in your body today. It might be different than how it felt yesterday. That's all right. What is more nourishing for you today? Relax the face, relax the jaw, deep breaths. Anytime you feel the need, exhale through the mouth. Letting go. When your mind wanders, focus on the breath or your affirmation. You might hear my kitty breathing. He's a pretty loud breather. All right, a couple more breaths here to really soften in. And then slowly come up. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Again, just noticing the subtle effects of that pose. Lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open, and lift your head. All right, so now you can move, again, your bolster off to the side if you had one. Bring the soles of the feet together again for a bound angle, but this time seated. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. If you'd like to put blocks or pillows under the knees, that's fine as well. Big shoulder roll, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, tilt. If this one feels really good, again, you could build your prop bridge and stay here, or you can just hold here. Reach the heart forward, but soften at the same time. Let go of any tension in the forehead and the jaw. Couple more breaths here. And then slowly come up again, eyes closed. Breathe here. So whenever you just take a moment to notice the effects of the pose, you can do any of these poses at any time. It doesn't have to be part of a flow. You could just spend 2 to 10 minutes in any of these that feel really good for you. And then lower your head, blink your eyes open, and lift your head. All right, so now for these last couple of poses, I'd like you to either have a chair or be by your couch or even a wall, okay? But I'm gonna stay right here so that you can see me and see my form. But what we'll do now is move into supported bridge pose. Now, this could be considered an inversion because the hips are above the heart. So if you'd rather not practice inversions, if inversions don't feel good for you during that time in the month, then that's just something that you need to, know for yourself and decide for yourself. Sometimes women say that it feels really, really good, especially if they suffer from, really bad cramps or endometriosis. But ancient yogis say that whenever you're doing inversions, it reverses the natural flow. So totally up to you, use your best judgment. All right, so what you'll want for this is a block if you have it. If you don't have a block, you could use a rolled up yoga mat. You could use a couple pillows, even books would be fine. All right, so what you'll do is lay all the way back with your feet on the floor and your knees bent, pointing up towards the sky. Arms by the sides. Now I'm going to take my bun out. If you have a ponytail in, you'll want to do that too, because you don't want your head to be like this. You want to have a natural curve in your neck for this pose. All right, so feet are hip width, arms by the sides, roll the shoulders under the back, and then push into the feet and lift the hips. Now you want to place the block under the sacrum so that it feels like the pelvis is neutral. So it should be pretty much pointing like in the same direction as your knees. If you put the block too far up the back, your booty is going to be popping out and that'll compress the low back. Okay, so stay here. Also, after you lift your hips, keep your head pointing straight up. Now, to make this a little bit more restful, I like to have my feet apart and then my knees coming towards each other. This is definitely a variation of bridge, but it just helps me to hold it a little bit longer. Alternatively, you could tie a yoga strap or a tie, whatever you have, around your legs and keep them parallel if that feels better. Breathe here, come back to your affirmation. If you chose not to do this pose, you can do this without the block. Just have your booty on the ground, have your feet wide, knees together. That also feels really good. You could even place your hands on your womb space, just sending a little bit more nourishing energy to that area. Deepen your breath. Start to walk your feet back towards center, so just so that they're parallel. Lift your hips, move the block, lower all the way down. And then again, bring your feet wide, knees together, just breathe here. And then bring your knees in towards your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. Let's give the low back a little bit of love. Place your hands on the knees and do some circles on the sky with your knees. And go the other way. All right, now bring your feet back down to the ground. Bring your arms out to your sides. Shift your hips, move them all the way over to the right hand side. So your booty's now off to the right, and let the knees fall to the left. Now, feel free to put a bolster or block under that bottom knee so that it's not hanging. You want both shoulders to remain firmly planted on the ground. It's okay if you don't have a block. You can always push your knees a little bit further away from you so that they can come and rest on the ground. If it feels good, you can turn your head in the opposite direction of the knees. Again, if your mind's wandering, come back to the breath, back to your affirmation. Nice deep inhales and exhales. With each exhale, softening and relaxing more and more. And then bring your knees back up to center. Now shift your hips, this time all the way over to the left. Let the knees fall down to the right. Arms are out in a T, shoulders down. Again, you could put a block under the bottom knee for added comfort. Turn your head away from the knee if you did it on the other side. Again, with each exhale, softening more and more, releasing, letting go. And then come back to center with the hips and the head and the knees. Bring the knees in towards the chest again. Just give them a little squeeze. All right, now for our final pose, legs up the wall pose. So I'm going to do legs up the couch pose. So you can do that. Or you can go right up to the wall and have your legs up the wall, whichever feels good for you. Arms by the sides. It's going to be a more gentle inversion with the feet on the couch rather than up. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Close the eyes. And breathe here. Deep inhales, let your exhales start to get longer and longer. Letting go of any last bits of tension that could be left. Knowing that you did something so good for your body, something so nourishing, giving back to your body for all it does for you. And just let go of any thoughts. When they come into your mind, acknowledge them and let them go. And just float away. Let the ground carry your body weight. Enjoy these last few moments here. Deepening your breath. Bring some movement back to the fingers and toes. You can reach your arms overhead. And then slowly roll onto your right hand side using your right arm for a pillow. Take some breaths here. And with the strength of your arms, let your head be the last thing to come up and slowly push yourself up to an easy cross-legged pose. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Come back to the breath. Notice how you're feeling after your practice. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your day to do something so good for your body, your mind, and your spirit. And circle your hands together in front of your heart into prayer. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then bow your head, bring your thumbs from your heart center up to your third eye. Acknowledging the energy that's within you, around you, connects us all together, never goes away. That energy within me acknowledges that energy within you, and I thank you so very much for letting me guide you through your practice today. Namaste.